Hello IELTS test takers, we meet again for reading tips. I'm taking for granted that you know some of the basics about IELTS reading. You probably already know that it is a 1-hour test and there are 3 passages that you have to do in that 1 hour. And you might also be familiar with the types of questions. True, false, not given, yes, no, not given. Paragraph heading, finding information. Multiple choice questions, match parts of a sentence, short answer type questions, summary completion, table. So I'm not going into the details of this, and I'm also assuming that you know the basic tips, that is, you know what is skimming, scanning, and detailed reading. I'll just highlight what skimming is. It's just surface reading. You have a bird's eye view of what is there in the passage by reading the headings, predicting what could be there in the passage, reading the first lines of the paragraphs, having an idea what that paragraph could be. Is it about problems, solutions, future? What is it about? And knowing the main idea through the conclusion and through the first paragraph. If you've done IELTS writing, you can understand skimming a bit more, because you probably also know that you tend to give your aim of the essay in the last line of the introductory paragraph, and you give the summary of whatever you've said in your concluding paragraph. Plus, in your topic sentences of each body paragraph, you give what that paragraph is about. Is it about advantages, disadvantages, or the reason for your position, or the first reason for your position, the second reason for your position? So that would be there in your topic sentences, the first line of every paragraph. After having a look at all the questions, probably the first thing you would do is to do a 3-minute skimming like this, because it will give you an idea of what the paragraph, of what the passage is all about. Now the other skill is scanning. Scanning is looking for more specific information. For example, in your question, if there is some technical term or some keyword that does not have synonyms, for example, year 1972, or some technical term like bioaccumulation. Let's say you're looking for 1972, you'd be looking for it like this in the text. In the shape of an S, you'd follow the information around your finger and see if there is that number, if there is that year given there. So that is scanning. Now, what is the benefit? Now, one of the first things that you typically do is have a look at the blocks of questions. Is it true, false, not given first? Is it finding information first? So you would specifically be looking for questions which are in the same order as the information in the text. If they are in order, they are easier to find. I mean, you can find the answer area quickly. So you should know what are the questions that follow the sequence of information in the passage. So that is true, false, not given, multiple choice questions, and short answer type questions. So if I were doing a test, I would not do finding information first. I'll read the questions and try to keep them in mind. I'd exercise my short-term memory there and maybe keep 2-3 questions in my mind, but I would move ahead and do a true, false, not given, because it is in order. For example, I have a set of true, false, not given questions. Maybe it is the first block of questions. And I look at the first question, second question, third question. And the first 2 questions do not have a very technical word or a number or anything like a country's name or something like that. So it doesn't have it. So I look for another question where I can easily find a locator, a keyword, which is a technical term. Let's say I look at the third question and I see the word bioaccumulation. So I know that there aren't very many synonyms, maximum biomagnification. So I might want to do that question first, because I can quickly scan and find that word. So I read the question and it says, the major problem of using pesticides is bioaccumulation. That is, persistence of pesticides in living organisms. So I look for that word bioaccumulation. I scan, as I said, and I look for that word bioaccumulation and I find it. And I read around it. Now comes detailed reading. Now skimming scanning is like, you just have a general idea. You just look for something specific, but you're not into the text yet. Not totally into the text yet. So once you've located the answer area, once the locator has helped you identify, once skimming and scanning has helped you identify the answer area, you need to do detailed reading. That means you have to totally understand that particular answer area. And you would want to compare it with the question. You may want to, shift again and again. Is this the same idea? If I summarize this answer area and compare it with the other sentence, does it mean the same thing? Now, for example, in the text, it might say that one of the problems is bioaccumulation. It doesn't have the idea, the major problem, the main problem, the primary problem. So as long as that word is not there, that idea is not there, it means that the information is not given. It may be the primary problem, it may not be. But let's say you do find the word primary problem and something else is given there. For example, it might be given that the primary problem is that other useful insects also die as a result of using pesticides. So the primary problem is given and it is something else and not this one. So a contradictory information, a different information is given in the text. So you would be writing false. So that would come by taking some time to read the answer area in detail. Now let me highlight how this is beneficial. Now let's say the first and second answers were actually not given. So if you hadn't found the third answer, you would have gone on reading the whole passage. There is a possibility. There's another benefit of, let's say, doing the question that's easiest for you first, like the third question you did. So you are very definite that the first and second question's answers would be right before it. For example, if you found your answer in this third line of the second paragraph, you know that to find the first and second answers, you just have to read the first paragraph and up till the third line. You know that you have to focus on any sentence that is at least vaguely related or seems somewhat connected to the question. For example, the question, let's say the second question is, it's not surprising for the babies to cry. And in the passage, there is a sentence which says, it's usual for babies to cry. So you might not immediately make a connection of the word usual with surprising. It happens, if you're in a hurry, you might not make that connection. But if you know that the answer area is here, you would give thought to that word usual. And you will understand that it means it's not unusual and it's the same as not surprising. So that kind of time you would be able to give that question if you know that you don't have to look any further. So that is detailed reading for you. Taking time to do detailed reading. So these three skills, scanning, skimming, and detailed reading, are the essential skills in IELTS reading. But a very important skill, that is time management. That is the base of everything. Every skill eventually leads you down the path of time management. It's telling you how to manage your time. So I'll deal with that a little bit more in this next video. See you soon then. Enjoy your IELTS.